The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone at xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And if you'd like to see the broadcast schedule for the X Zone Broadcast Network, go to www.xzbn.net. And for our broadcast schedule on Simul TV on the X Zone TV channel, www.simultv.com. And we're coming to you tonight around the world on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, iHeartRadio, Simul Radio, and Simul TV. My guest this hour is Charles Lamoureux. He is a medical consultant for a multi-billion-dollar company. He began filming UFOs regularly from his 21st floor apartment in 2011. Since then, he has thousands of hours of sky watching, and his videos have been remarked on YouTube by the quality of his captures and by the professional way he is studying strange UFOs, UFO fleets near Vancouver, British Columbia. Joining me now is Charles Lamoureux. And Charles, welcome to the X Zone.
Well, thank you, and happy to be here, Rob.
Great talking to a fellow Canadian. And
yes.
Yeah, from one side of the country to the other. How did you get involved in the filming of these videos, of these UFOs and the fleets?
Well, it's put it this way, I had no idea I was going to get involved in this at all. I was a total skeptic with UFOs. I mean, I thought it was just, pure, a joke. People would play around and they're all fake. And of course, a lot of them are. Mm-hmm. But I'd say back in 2010, around that time, I'm an astronomy enthusiast. So I had a lot of telescopes and observed the night sky. I've been doing this for over 25 years. And one night back in 2010, looking at the moon, I had my camera on my telescope ready to take beautiful photos of the moon.
Right.
And all of a sudden I saw this, I have to say it was a diamond-shaped craft. It wasn't a kite. It wasn't anything, because I know the night skies quite well. And it was kind of shimmering and like on ice. It was just like, it wasn't drifting with the wind or anything. It just went across the moon. And here I'm looking at this, and here I'm supposed to be taking photos of the moon. I had my camera and everything. It was like perfect opportunity. And I didn't even take a photo because I was just stunned. I go, what is this?
Right.
And so that kind of set things off. And I started doing a lot of research on the internet. And I started seeing a lot of amazing videos from people. And I started buying some gear, night vision gear. And that's really how it all got started. Yeah, I was amazed. I mean, I had to find out what I saw, and I started to look at the night sky with a different perspective using night vision gear rather than telescopes. Because telescopes, you only see a portion of the sky.
Right.
And, of course, if you're looking at the moon, you're just looking at the moon. But if you're looking at the stars, galaxies, you're looking at a very small fraction of the sky. So with looking for UFOs, you have to look at a broad spectrum, the whole sky, quarter of the sky, and you have to start looking at like a grid pattern. That's how I started, realizing if I'm going to capture these UFOs, I have to go through the whole sky through a grid pattern. And that's how I started capturing these orbs around Vancouver.
What are these orbs? Have they been identified? What do we know about them? Or what have you discovered doing the research that you've done that what these orbs are?
Well, it's a really great question. I think a lot of people that are doing what I'm doing right now really don't know. I think what I do know for a fact that they are intelligent. They do come around to the condos around Vancouver. They do stop. They make these weird movements. The fact that they're not bugs or birds or bats, something that's in the sky. If it was drifting with the wind, it wouldn't just stop midair and kind of like just stop for a few seconds and then move, do this, and then start jiggling around, then zipping off. And they come in different colors. They come blue, orange, white, semi-translucent. I've even seen a saucer shape with a hole in the middle, spinning and wobbling at the same time for a 3 or 4 month period. And I captured that 4 or 5 times, and I have no idea what that was. But the majority of them are spheres, from anything from a golf ball size. They could be very, very bright or very translucent. And the only way to pick them up is with night vision gear or infrared. Or size of beach balls. And I saw 3 that were size of like small little cars that just showed up in midair and started moving towards my condo. That was the only time I got really scared. I have no idea what they are.
How do you gauge the size of these orbs?
Well, because where I'm at on the 21st floor,
right,
a lot of them are quite low. Again, I don't know if they're 1,000 feet or 2,000 feet. I kind of look at the perspective from the top of the buildings because a lot of my videos, you can see the bottom of the buildings. And being that I know, I can estimate quite well. Again, I'm just estimating. I could be wrong completely, but being that I've been doing this for a long time, looking at the stars and looking at the skies for over 25 years, I know they're quite low. Some of them are high up, and they could be in orbit, or they could be just a few thousand feet. So it's hard to really guess. But when I have buildings in the frame of my cameras, my night vision cameras, then I can kind of get a good understanding. Just with the movements and where they're going, you know that they're quite low. They're not in orbit. That's for sure.
So what is your hypothesis?
My hypothesis? Well, I got 3 of them.
Okay.
Maybe 4 lately. Of course, the first one, like everybody would like to hear about their probes from ET, extraterrestrials from somewhere else.
Right.
That's definitely a possibility because I don't know what else it could be. 2, it could be from here. They've been here from day one. It could be something that we've never seen before. Now that more consumers or the public, they have access to these technologies, which is night vision, really great optical cameras with zoom on them. Like we have a new camera coming out with 100 times optical zoom, and that's quite amazing. So we never had this technology, just a few years ago. And there's a lot more people now that are looking up, and that's really, really important. So maybe we're just starting to see them now because more people are interested, the technologies. And I think third, again, this is something that a lot of people will, maybe disagree with me, but they could be spiritual. They could be something that either coming from an interdimensional parallel universe, or they could be spiritual in terms of Gaia, the planet. People talk about the planet Earth as being spiritual. It's a body and it's alive. So this could be something that's been projected from our planet. And these are little orbs that are sentient, that are traveling around, and they're kind of looking at us. I don't know what else they could be. I mean, there's 3 at least that one of them have to be for real. They're not man-made. They're not natural, because natural as in ball lightning. Right. These are clear nights. There's no clouds. There's no storms. So these are not ball lightning. This is downtown Vancouver. So we're not looking at someone setting up Chinese lanterns and other things, because I know that quite well. I can see them with a naked eye, and I can see them with regular cameras. And I know they are not Chinese lanterns. A lot of people will say, "Oh, that's a balloon or a Chinese lantern," but I know they're not. I don't know what they are. And if you look at some of my videos, you'll realize right away, whoa, what is that?
Are these sightings done at all times during the day and night?
No, I only skywatch at night. I did start doing a little bit during the daytime. And again, when you're using night vision or different kind of cameras with night vision, You have to use ND filters, and it's a real. There's a lot more work involved, and there's a lot of different objects in the day sky that could be construed as UFOs, but they're really mundane. They could be weather balloons, other different objects in the sky, even planes and whatnot. So I stick with nighttime, and I think there's a lot more at night that you could rule out as being mundane and UFOs. So that's why I do only nighttime.
All right, stand by. You and I have to take our first break. X-Zone Nation. Our guest this hour is Charles Lamoureux, and if you'd like to find out more about Charles, his website is www.static8, and that's the number 8 films.com. And Charles and I will be back on the other side of this break as we continue talking about the strange orbs that he has been filming in Vancouver, British Columbia. And we'll take a deeper look into what Charles has done, as well as what they possibly could be. And is there a connection between these orbs and orbs that have been seen and photographed in other aspects of the paranormal? I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X-Zone. And we'll be back on the other side as we continue broadcasting around the world from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
You have heard of the X-Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV. Plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
We live in rapidly shifting times of extreme volatility and uncertainty. Such profound change brings a unique opportunity for the evolution of consciousness. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, host of Mission Evolution Radio Show, a program that explores the latest scientific developments and deepening spiritual truths supporting human evolution. Join me on XZBN.net, where I interview leading experts in science, physics, medicine, spirituality, and more. By applying divergent viewpoints to leading-edge topics, we uncover expansive and evolutionary truth to assist you on your path to enlightenment. More information and past episodes are available at missionevolution.org.
Welcome back, everyone. Charles Lamoureux is my special guest. His website is www.static8films.com. We're talking about the video footage that Charles has taken from the 21st floor of the apartment building that he lives in, right off his balcony, X-Zone Nation. And they look like orbs. And Charles, before we went to the break, I asked hypothetically to the audience: is there a connection between these orbs that you're getting footage of and the orbs that other paranormal investigators are getting when it comes to ghosts and other anomalies?
Yeah, again, that's a wonderful question, Rob. I'm not sure, but that I think they might be. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you why, because the one experience, and again, this one experience that I had, I didn't capture it on film, and I'll go into the detail. This validated all the video footage I had previous to this experience. This was back in 2016 in December, which I normally don't skywatch because, in Vancouver it rains a lot. It's a lot of clouds. So I only skywatch when the skies are clear and you can see the stars. Mm-hmm. And I was watching TV, and on the side of my eye, I see this blue light bouncing up and down from the 20th floor to the 21st floor. And I thought it was some kid with a quadcopter, those RC helicopters. Well, I have a couple of them. So I figured that's what it was. And I'm going, what the heck is a kid doing going close to the condos, looking inside the windows? So I was getting a little annoyed after 2 minutes. So I go into my balcony, open up the balcony door, and all of a sudden I see this blue light, little sphere. It was the size of a golf ball, and it was like 10 feet from my face, and it stops. I'm looking right at this thing, and it was a beautiful, bright, it looked like a Christmas light LED light, wow. Those LED lights, yep. But very, very bright, and the size of a golf ball, because it was 10 feet away, so I can estimate that's the size it was. And it stopped after doing its kind of like this yo-yo trick, and then boom, it zips off across the street, Granville Street Bridge, where I live really near, and it went straight on top of another condo building across the street. And the next day I did a rangefinder on it. It's 300 meters, so it took off. It took about maybe 2 seconds to get to 300 meters, so it went really fast. But it was zigzagging while it went up to the top of that building. And then it stopped up there, and then it grew to the size of a beach ball. It's huge because it was so bright, brighter than what it was from 10 feet from me. So again, it must have been at least the size of a beach ball. So I run inside my condo, and I grab my camcorder, which I keep really close to my balcony, just in case I see something like this, which I did. So I go on my balcony, and I have it perfectly in focus, and as soon as I hit record, it blinked out. It was like a light switch. So it was amazing. So either that was a complete coincidence, or somehow it knew that I was going to film it. So being that this thing was so close, it could be a spiritual orb. I don't know. And I know a year prior to this experience, I found a good friend of mine murdered in her home. And I was thinking about her that night. And 10 minutes later, this is when I saw this blue light. So, it's all assumptions. I don't know. I've seen a lot of orbs. I don't know if those are spiritual at all, if there's a connection there. But this one, I had a kind of a sensation that maybe there is maybe spiritual, or I'm not going to say ghost, I'm saying spiritual, some kind of energy from, the afterlife. I mean, that's a possibility, like anything else. I was just going to ask you, have any of these orbs ever tried, in your opinion, to communicate with you? The closest I had from communication, I think it's more interaction, is when I had one orb. This is when I first started filming them, and they were really, back in 2012, it was like a flap. They're coming really close to the balcony, and there was a lot in the skies. I mean, you could see, if you didn't have a camera or anything, you just see the highlight of them with the light pollution. But these are larger. I don't think they were orbs. I think they were maybe crafts of some sort. So I don't know what they were. I didn't have a night vision camera at that time. But 2012, it was very busy. So, again, sorry, what was your question again? I'm getting excited again.
No, it's
back memories.
it's quite all right. I asked you that, do you think that at any time these orbs have ever tried to communicate with you? Yeah. So, yes, and back in 2012, I was videotaping one with my first night vision camera.
and it was outside the balcony, maybe, again, because my focus infinity is about 100 feet on my cameras. So I had to focus in on this one. So it was at least within 100 feet from me. And I said, I'm getting tired of these guys, right? In my mind, zipping by my condo. Why don't you come closer? So I said, why don't you come closer? And within 2 seconds, it zipped around, and all of a sudden I see this white flash of light, which was the orb, come right past the camera, and you can see it in one of my videos. And I go, whoa, not so close. So it kind of startled me. So either, again, another coincidence, or did it actually hear me? And for me, that would be an interaction or some type of communication. So I know they're intelligent. I don't know how intelligent they are.
All right, so I would imagine that when they're 100 feet from you, they're very easy to see with the naked eye as well.
Actually, no.
They're not.
A lot of them I cannot see with the naked eye. And again, there's a lot of possible reasons for that. Either they're very small, and there's a lot of light pollution below me,
right?
Or they're too dim. A lot of times they're very bright, like the blue one that came really close to me. And I've seen maybe half a dozen other ones that are very bright that I never caught on video. Unfortunately, I didn't have my camera.
But the one that was very bright, like a LED Christmas light, that was the size of a golf ball, and then it went away, and you saw it getting larger to the size of a beach ball.
Yeah.
Was this? Could you see this with the naked eye, or only through your?
You absolutely. Could? That's what got my attention,
all
right? Because I was watching TV.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was like on the side of my eye, so it was blue light. But again, I didn't videotape it because it blinked out as soon as I had it in focus.
Was there anyone with you at any time when you saw the ones that you could see with your eyes?
Yes. Yes, I had my brother, I had two of my brothers, and my nephew. They've had my nephew, my one brother, they've witnessed one with me, and then my other brother from Miami, he witnessed another one with me. So they've seen it. They were totally skeptics. They never believed that I was filming UFOs, and they visited, and also, bingo, there's one, and they go, wow, no, that's a helicopter. Like, no, look, bing, it blinks out. What was that? So then a fireworks display. And again, one of my videos is called, this was back in 2012, one of my first UAP or UFO videos. It was after the Celebration of Light fireworks display that we have here in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. And I went with my nephew and my brother, and we're watching the fireworks. And then there was this sphere of light that was way out in, I guess, maybe about a mile out. I mean, I'm just estimating again. It wasn't part of the fireworks display. They only reached to maybe about so many meters high, maybe 300-400 meters high, the fireworks, maybe a little higher than that. This was further out, maybe a mile, and it was about maybe 1,000 meters high. And again, I'm just guessing.
Right.
But it was doing a yo-yo thing, and it was changing color with the fireworks as it was going up and down for a whole 25 minutes. And in 2012, yes, we had drones. Yes. But not as many as you would think today. You know, you can buy them anywhere in the stores. You had to build your own drones, because I had built one in 2012. First thing that went into my mind is that a drone? But there's no way a battery back then, lithium batteries, that could last 25 minutes, and especially going up and down like this and way out there and changing colors with the fireworks. And then it just disappeared. And then 20 minutes later, when I came home, I'm going on my balcony and see if I can capture this thing. And yeah, I did, actually. I thought it was a satellite initially. And I call this video, it's on my YouTube channel, UFO Pretending to be a Satellite. And it came around the condos, and it looked like a satellite, with my night vision device, and I could see it with the naked eye. It was bright like Saturn. As it, again, a lot of satellites with reflection with the sun could look like Saturn when it's moving, right? And then it bounces back when it hides behind one of the edges of the condominium complexes. And it does like a 180 and turns around. And for me, satellites don't do that, or anything else I can imagine. And so that was one of my better videos that kind of validated what we saw at the fireworks display. I can't think of what else that could have been. You
live in an area with other high-rises and other condominiums. Yes.
Do
any of the other occupants of any of the other condos ever see what you see?
I don't know. I've never asked anybody
Why
else,
not?
And that's a good question. Maybe I should. I know there's a lot of people in Vancouver that have witnessed similar objects in the night sky. Mm-hmm. A lot of people send out Chinese lanterns in the English Bay and nearby, and those are really easy to spot. And people that are not familiar with Chinese lanterns will think those are UFOs or orbs. Right. And again, you have to have an interest too, and you have to be looking up. People don't really look up on the majority of the time. It's getting better, though.
Have any of these, let me ask you this question because I've got to go to a break.
Yeah.
Video surveillance cameras, condominiums usually have them. Any of these orbs been caught on video surveillance?
That is a great question. You know what? I'm going to start looking into that because there's tons in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Especially at the growth that we're getting in Vancouver right now. You can see these security cameras like right next to me because I use my night vision. You can see the infrared lights that are everywhere on the buildings. You can't see with the naked eye because they're infrared light.
That's
Only
right.
night vision can pick them up.
All right, stand by. We've got to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exxon Nation, Charles Lamoureux is our guest of this hour. And his website is www.static8films.com. That's www.static8films, and that's the number 8films.com. And Charles is in beautiful British Columbia. We'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone talking about UFOs, orbs, and much more. Don't go away.
Broadcast studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, to the world and beyond. You're watching the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
AVS Media Den.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world, interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul, a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Exonation, Charles Lamoureux is our guest this hour. His website is www.static8films.com, and that's static, the number 8films.com. Charles, I understand that you experimented with a laser and a laser light, and these orbs, UFOs, seem to have acknowledged the existence of this light. And tell us what happened.
Well, yeah, it was really interesting. Again, this was when I was getting tired of them not coming closer to my balcony or interacting, communicating, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. So I built my first one, and I don't use the green laser lights that you can see with the naked eye. These are all infrared laser lights, and they can be very, very strong. They can reach up to 2 or 3 miles. Actually, they're very, very strong. They're very powerful. They're dangerous as well in terms of because you can't see the laser light with the naked eye, you can burn your eye out. So you got to be careful. So, yeah, I had one, my very first one. It was a satellite-looking object that was descending. And after doing this for so many thousands of hours, you kind of tell that this is not your usual object in the night sky. It's not a usual satellite-looking object. And I immediately assume it's probably going to be a UFO because the way it moves or descending very slow, because I've seen this over and over. So I shined my first laser at this one object as it was descending, and a couple of flashes, and boom, it would flash back. And again, people would say that was an iridium flare satellite, which is a type of satellite. It's again, it reflects off the sun and flashes back. You see that a lot in the night sky. But the way it flashed at you, it was immediate and it immediately shuts off. And for me, that was a reaction to the laser light. So that was my first one. So it was actually quite thrilling. So yeah, I'm going to keep on trying this. And then one night I had these orbs again. I had 2 of them zipping around the balcony, and they would stop and they wouldn't come any closer. And again, I was getting tired, so I took out my laser light. And they were a speck of light. They weren't very bright. But I knew they were orbs because they didn't react like bugs. They didn't react like a bat. You wouldn't see the wings because you can really see the wings with night vision and get used to it, being able to detect this. Or any kind of other bird, because they would stop. Birds don't stop in midair. So I took my laser light and I happened to hit one with the laser light. And it was actually a lot larger than the speck light that I was seeing with the night vision device. And when I hit that laser, that object, the orb, I guess illuminated it to maybe the size of a beach ball again, because, again, I'm estimating with the infinity focus on my night vision device. It's the best I can do. And then it started to wiggle, and I couldn't hit it after that. It actually saw the laser light. It was infrared. You couldn't see with the naked eye, so it could actually see it because I couldn't hit it afterwards. And, again, that's on my YouTube channel. You'll see me playing around with this orb. It's actually quite exciting. So after that, maybe 5 minutes after it took off, there's nothing else, I packed in my gear. I was bringing all my cameras into my balcony, into my condo. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, these 3 large orange spheres, I mean, these were the ones I was mentioning earlier, size of little cars. 3 of them, boom, 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 just popped up over Granville Street Bridge. You know, the reason why I know these were only maybe at 2,000 feet, you can see that they were bright and plasmatic, and it was like plasma moving in it. You could see it. And it felt very near. It felt like only 2,000 feet. And they're a lot larger than anything I've ever seen before. And they were moving towards my building over the Granville Street Bridge on my left-hand side, which was south. So that's the only time I got scared. So I ran inside into my condo. I closed the balcony door and I closed my blinds. So I was peeking through the blinds, looking at these things approaching. And as soon as I was peeking through, one blinked out after the other. Blink out, blink out, blink out, and that was it. So the reason why it scared me is because maybe I was playing around with these orbs and they didn't like it. And mommy and daddy or whatever they were showed up after that. So that was pretty exciting. Man, I wish I had my cameras at that time, but I think I probably would have ran inside.
Who do you think is controlling the interaction between you and these orbs?
Who's controlling it?
Yes.
Oh, gosh. You know, that's a really good question. I think a lot of people have come and said a few things similar to that or mentioned that to me that maybe they're responding to my interest or my will to see them. Again, this is the basis behind, CE5. You've heard of that before, where people meditate and want to see, UFOs or ET, extraterrestrials.
So you're talking about the classification of close encounter number 5.
Yeah, it's Stephen Greer came up with this CE5. It's a terminology he came up with to investigate UFOs and to meditate around and to try to communicate with extraterrestrials and try to get their reaction or communicate with them. And so there's a lot of groups out there that are doing that. I'm not really a big fan of that. Again, I've never really tried it, but I think there is some type of conscious or telepathy, you may want to call that, within these entities, spheres, phenomena, whatever you want to call it, because I still don't know what they are, only because of the times I've had with them in the last 8 years. Again, with the blue orb that came on the side of my window, I don't think it was there for anybody else, being that it stopped when I came on the balcony and took off. I mean, was it getting my interest, like me to come out? I don't know. And all the ones that came around me. And again, I haven't heard of anybody else. It hasn't been in the newspaper, and I do check a lot of the Facebook groups and social media. Anybody in the downtown core or Yaletown area where I live that have had these kind of experiences. So
why do you think it's you?
Maybe they are trying to communicate with me or something. I don't know.
But why you? Why not somebody else?
I think maybe because my experience that I had in the park right next to my building when I saw that big, large, whatever it was, diamond-shaped craft that came across the moon, and my will to passion behind it to see them, to know what they are. I'm talking about obsessed here. I spent thousands of dollars on equipment, and I spent thousands of hours over the last 8 years on my balcony and in different parks around British Columbia to try to find out what these things are. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. I can't commit one way or another if that's the reason. But I don't know why else I'm getting it. I don't know. That's a very good question. That's why I'm going to try this meditation, kind of vectoring and summoning these UFOs or orbs to your location and see if that does anything. Because right now it's been very, very diminished now. I haven't seen anything in the night sky for over a year now. Actually, less than a year. August in 2017 was my last one.
Wow.
And again, that's on my YouTube channel.
Let me ask you this. Have you shared your videos with the authorities, the military, the police? Have you said, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm getting on video? I don't know what they are. What is it? Can you help me?
I never thought of doing that. No, I haven't. I've shared it with the UFO community because I thought I would get some more answers, but they can't. They can't help me. So I had to do a lot of my own investigations myself to try to come up with answers to what these are. So after doing a lot of that, then when I got contacted by a video production company that wanted to do a documentary on what I was doing and what I was seeing in the night sky.
Let me ask you, have you sent your video to any place that does video analysis to see what they can come up with?
Well, apparently there are some professional people at MUFON that are apparently specialists in analyzing video footage, UFO video footage.
Yes.
I've yet not seen much from them in terms of their qualifications.
But there are other places. For example, the universities. The University of British Columbia has an excellent video optics lab, and they also have a great science department. Why? You're very close to them. I can't believe that over 8 years you haven't actually brought your video to professionals to get their expert opinions.
Well, that's a good question. And you know what? I think I probably will do that. But the only reason why I never thought of doing that, because most people don't believe in UFOs, you know, and a lot of professionals that I have sent them to that would know more than me, if it's not video analysis or in the night sky, they come up with answers that I've already debunked. That's no way that's a problem. That could be the possibility, of that being, you know, they say, no, that's a bat. No, it's not a bat. I know what bats look like. And I showed an IFO, IFO on my YouTube channel. This is what a bat looks like in night vision. It's not a satellite. It's not another satellite coming from the other end. It can't be because I was looking at the sky at the same time. So all these things, so I got really frustrated with a lot of people I was sending my stuff with. And so I stopped. So maybe other people that are totally unbiased to have a look at it. to look at the films, but why? I can't think what else it could be.
Well, maybe it's an unknown anomaly that is prevalent to the area where you live. Because if no one else is seeing these things, and there's a lot of sky watchers at night, and if it's, I don't understand why there hasn't been more research done with local people in the area to see if they could collaborate any of your sightings. That would be one of the first things I would do. Like the apartment buildings, put up a little notice on a bulletin board in the building. Have you seen this? If so, send me an email.
Yeah, but then you got to also look at people will take it, especially in my area where I live in Yaletown, a very conservative area. My company knows what I do.
Yeah.
A lot of people, are kind of making jokes about it, and I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that with my neighborhood.
All right, stand by. We've got to take our final break. Exo Nation. Charles Lamoureux is our guest. His website is static8films.com. That's static and the number 8films.com. And we'll be back as we wrap up this hour here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
The new nonfiction book, Razor of Madness, is similar to cult movies like Clockwork Orange, Dragon's Tattoo, or The Other Side of Hell. Wayne Morin Jr. and Thomas Lee Howe will expose widespread and systematic deficiencies in this thought-provoking tell-all novel. Mind control rages among scholars in law schools. Human rights are ignored while thought reform and mental manipulation are accepted practices used as behavior modification. Dr. Louis Jolyon West comes to mind. Media and public scrutiny shows that United States mental hospitals are in fact destructive murder industries. Razor of Madness expose novel details this epidemic through an in-depth professional and personal investigation. For decades, there has been a revolving door policy that still releases killers and pedophiles back into society. The maestro of mind control continues to haunt America to this very day. Razor of Madness is available in paperback or as a downloadable ebook at Amazon.com.
The concept of a new age has been around since the late 19th century, yet much of its original meaning has been lost. What exactly is the new age? Is it a religion, a collection of obscure esoteric practices, a series of doomsday predictions, or an astrological event? The New Age Chronicles is a unique complementary publication bringing reason and grounded information to separate fact from fiction. Chock full of valuable information to support you as we make the monumental shift into the new era. You won't want to miss a single innovative issue. The New Age Chronicles newspaper is coming soon to www.newagechronicles.com.
Charles Lamoureux is our guest of this hour, X-Zone Nation. His website is www.static8films.com. Charles, I'm having a bit of a problem understanding a few things, and maybe you I'd like you to help me kind of fill in the blanks that I'm missing. You've been doing this for 8 years. You have thousands of hours of video footage. You're living in a very populated area. You're a sky watcher. You have these thousands of hours of video of these anomalies. You haven't brought them to experts to be analyzed to see if the scientific community or the university community can help you. You haven't put up any notices in any of the buildings or tried to find out if anybody in the area has seen the same. Wait a sec. Has seen the same anomalies as you are, and what was the other part? And yet you're concerned about what people might say
in my neighborhood.
In your neighborhood, and yet you've got these on YouTube. It doesn't make sense.
Well, there's one thing in putting them on YouTube. They don't know where you live. Okay, number two, people don't always look at UFO videos on YouTube that may live in this area. Putting up a poster in my building, people, I don't feel comfortable with that because people are really strange in this area about, UFOs. But I have sent my videos to a lot of experts, and don't get me wrong, nothing local. Recently, I've been working with the Simon Fraser University with Paul Kingsbury with the he's associate dean at Simon Fraser University with the Department of Geography, and we're working on a paranormal study. He is, and I'm his consultant with UFOs, and he's a true believer now of what I've been capturing. Okay. So that's one of my goals with him is to work with his colleagues in the science department, and that's coming up. And we're writing a book, and not a book. He's writing a book, but we're going to write a paper on what I've been capturing. So that's all coming, but. In terms of, putting posters up like you had mentioned, other people, they're not seen in my neighborhood because they're not on the balcony or in the parks looking in the night sky with night vision devices. I mean,
but you were saying that they can also be seen by the human eye, and you've got police officers out at night, you have rangers out at night, you have boaters out at night, you have pilots out at night. So I don't, you could put an anonymous posting on Craigslist or Kijiji.
I do. It's been on UFO BC. It's been on different MUFON. There's been
I'm not talking about the UFO community here.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people outside who may have had an experience that they do not understand what it is, and maybe they've been looking for a place to
that's a good idea.
Submit it. I
never thought of that actually. That's a good idea.
And you said that you were going to be a consultant to this study as a UFO consultant. What are your qualifications to be a UFO consultant?
Well, I'm probably one of these. There's maybe a half a dozen people that I know of in the Lower Mainland. They're doing what I'm doing. They're capturing things with the devices that I'm using that I've been using for 8 years, from night vision to sensors to cameras. I've done videography. I'm an expert in these devices. I mean, I can't say that someone that just buys a night vision device knows what they're doing with it. They don't. I mean, it took me 8 years to learn how to use it. And to learn what to look in the night sky. Being with 25 years as an astronomy enthusiast, I know my night skies.
I understand that, and I appreciate that.
That's my expertise.
But that doesn't equate to being an expert in UFOs or a consultant in UFOs. Videography, yes, but
capturing a phenomena that's not been captured by anybody else or very infrequently.
Yeah.
Yes, I am an expert because I've got them consecutively over the years. I don't have very many. I don't have thousands of videos. I have maybe a good dozen of solid phenomena that I don't know. I've got maybe 80 videos. Some of them are probably satellites.
Right.
They're 50-50, and I put that in my YouTube channel, that this is likely this, but it could be a UFO as well. But this is valid. This is a bona fide. I debunked it. I done this. I did a lot of tests, all these things.
Okay.
So over the years, I try to debunk my own videos and sightings with anything that you can normally see in the night sky that could be mundane.
All right. Okay. Once again,
I'm an expert than anybody else.
when it comes to this anomaly. But how do you know they're UFOs? Unidentified?
They're unidentified.
Okay, so but how do we... All right, so once again, how can we put them in the same category as objects that are usually submitted to MUFON and other UFO flying saucer organizations if we do not know what they are as of yet?
Well, you're asking all the right questions, Rob, because MUFON has already categorized maybe 3 or 4, at least, of my videos as unknowns.
Okay.
And this has been 70 years of investigations that, they see something in the sky, it's videotaped, photographed, experience, and they put it into this little area, and it's called the unknowns, and nothing is done with it. So
that's sad.
What are they doing with it? MUFON's doing nothing with it. They got investigators and researchers around the world. You got Richard Dolan, you got Chris Rutowski, you have Grant Cameron. They're all, a couple of Canadians in there that have been doing this for 30-some years.
Yeah.
But they're researchers, they're analysts. They're doing nothing with it.
No,
they're just presenting it to the public. They're professionals.
Here we have
recording them.
Here we have an anomaly that this is typical of the UFO community, though. You've got 30, 40, 50, 60 years of information with nothing concrete. Nothing has changed over all these years.
Exactly.
And you see, this is why the public has lost interest in UFOs.
Or they call us a farce. It's a joke. So why do you think I don't put posters up?
But
it's very tough. I'm in it, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I spend my own money doing this. And I'm professional enough. I'm smart enough. I have taught myself enough. I'm not stupid. I'm not ignorant.
And I'm not saying you are. I'm not taking anything away from you.
If I say something in the night sky, and I've gone to a lot of professionals, not saying I've done anything local.
Yeah.
Maybe I should. But you know what? A lot of the local people are already, with my experience, unless they're in the UFO community that they've seen or they've had 30 years, whatever, and they've seen a lot of stuff, that they're going to go, yes, it's bona fide. I've been contacted by 2 people from NASA, one from the European Space Agency, that I validated that who he was, and he was really working for the ESA. He was an aerospace engineer, and he validated what I've seen is what he gets from the military. I mean, I can go on and on that we never talked about. And he's now cannot tell me any more about the phenomena with me because he got basically his hand slapped that he was telling me from NATO. And he was getting military videos. He says, Charles, your last
Wait a sec. Hold on. Back up. Why would NATO have anything to do with the ESA? That doesn't make any sense.
No. He was getting videos from the from NATO. And the ESA. And this is what he's telling me. I mean, okay. I can't doubt what he's saying because a lot of stuff that, what he told me when the Philae lander landed on the asteroid there, I was communicating with him before CNN even reported that the harpoons never launched properly or whatnot, so the solar panels wouldn't power the lander. Mm-hmm. I was getting this information from him. And that pretty well validated that was part of his team that he was working on. So would he tell me stuff that was just fabricated? He told me a lot of things. I mean, this would be a whole another 2-hour interview to go into the details of the stuff that he was telling me. But I'm not a physicist. A lot of stuff was way over my head. But he validated a couple of my videos. Said, Charles, that's the real thing. They're translucent. They don't have a totally molecular cohesion. And you filmed it. And he even said that some of your videos are better than what we received from NATO. And he told me that. He didn't go into so many details because he couldn't.
Once again, why would NATO have anything to do with the ESA? That makes no sense.
Good question. I don't know. This is what he told me.
Did you ask him, why the European Space Agency is...
He wouldn't give me any details. He gave me just enough to, wet my tongue, really, my lips. Right. Tell me more. Sorry, Charles, I can't. But, and then he continues. I got 3 or 4 years of that communicated to me. And he told me, you can share this information, but you cannot tell my name. And so I won't. I won't tell his name, but I will share that information. I do have that information. And I think a few ufologists have been doing this for 30 years actually disseminated that at a couple of UFO conferences recently that are very similar to what I was getting from this aerospace engineer. So is it true? Is it real? I don't know. This is the UFO community. A lot of stuff that comes to us, I don't know if it's just information, if it's real. This is why I promote, and as much as I can, people to look up If they can't afford a night vision device, get a camera, binoculars, look up, get as much information as you can, because we're not getting it from anybody else. So this is why I'm doing this. I'm passionate about it. And I wish I had a lot of money. I'm working with some people right now. They're doing a film, a documentary. He's got a $100,000 system on a tripod. He's got night vision devices, thermal devices like I do, but $100,000 worth. And these film is called Making Contact. It's coming out very soon. It's 4 years of traveling around the world. I can't wait to see it because they've filmed some really great anomalies. I've only seen a glimpse of them. And they invited me to Joshua Tree next August. And they have a special event going on there. So I'm hoping that, again, it's going to be 7 days or 6 nights of sky watching.
Charles, you and I have to say so long for tonight. We've come to the end of our interview, so I want to thank you so much. Well, here you go, Exo Nation. More questions than answers, as usual. We'll be, we showed you some of his footage during this hour. You be the judge. I'll be back. Don't go away. My name is Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. And I don't know. Send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. Tell me what you think. And if you're listening to us on the radio and you want to see these videos, visit his YouTube site. And all you need to do is type in Charles Lamoureux, and it'll pop up. Don't go away.
Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Are you or is someone you know struggling with addictions, depression, anxiety, relationships, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, grief, success, and prosperity? Do you know that your subconscious belief plays a big role in the outcome of your hard work? We can help you permanently change the beliefs that may be the reason for your struggles and failures. We care about getting you the return on your investment and the results you are looking for. We can help you be free of the limitations of your past and in realizing your highest potential. We work with people by phone and Skype. For more information, visit us at www.ritasoman.com. That's www.ritasoman.com. Do you think you have energy problems in your home? Do you feel better when you're away than when you're home? Joey Korn is a global leader in the world of dowsing who specializes in personal energy clearing and space clearing. He can help you create an ideal energy environment in your home no matter where you live in the world. Learn about his remote spiritual house cleaning services and much more at www.dowsers.com. You can get Joey's book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment, as well as other dowsing books and tools, Kabbalah books, and Walter Russell books. Joey's work is really amazing. Go to dowsers.com right now. That's DOWSERS.com or call 1-877-DOWSING. That's 1-877-369-7464.